brain is a biological organ, but it also has psychological aspects, and there's also the social part. So each of those aspects has to be properly addressed. In the young, what we need to do is to prevent acute injury to the brain in utero and in the early stages. So countries that are serious about mental health, they started with the pregnant women require eating fortified food rich in folic acid, preventing obstetric complications. When you're pregnant, register at a proper antenatal, government-registered antenatal center, and make sure you don't take alcohol when you're pregnant, And then when it's time for you to deliver, try to have as much as possible a safe delivery practice, something that will not compromise the child's brain. Then early development, good nutrition, stimulation, exercise, and good integrated family upbringing. Those things help in the early ages.
Right.
Then when you're older, some of the greatest threats to good mental health are things like stress, problems, then drug and alcohol use, abuse. So those type of things, those are some of the factors. And the common thing is stress. You have to, I know everybody's always saying it, but stress, psychological, emotional, does predispose you to having a mental health condition.
What are those common practices or basic practices that you can employ to be able to manage yourself from succumbing to external influences, external factors that could make you stressed up?
Oh, okay. All right. So what we need to do is, as individuals, we need to build up our resilience, and resilience is the ability to cope with stressors. And everybody has different capacity to deal with stress, but we can always do things to improve our level of stress. So there are certain things we can do. First and foremost is, number one, we have to prioritize our mental health. We have to understand that the same way we are going to the gym or eating healthy or doing certain things to worry about our heart, our liver, our diabetes, we also have to pay attention to our mental health. And there are certain things we need to do. One of the commonest things we tell is mindfulness. So when you're in this environment all around the world, there's a barrage of information, negative, positive, you have to find a way to disconnect from that and reset your internal clock. And there are things you can do. Some people do exercise, some people do yoga, meditation, some people use prayer, So there are different ways to disconnect and try to reset yourself and try as much as possible to focus on the positive things around you. It's not easy. It requires a lot of work, but those are some of the things. It's called mindfulness practice, relaxation practices. Another very big challenge we have is we have an epidemic of sleeplessness.
Sleeplessness.
It's a big problem. People believe that if they slept for 7 hours in a day, they are being lazy. And the human body, you must recharge your clock. Yes, you must recharge your brain. And one of the easiest ways to recharge your brain is to get good quality sleep. I don't know how easy that will be with the generators. There's no light. Everybody's generator is on. There's light from the fluorescent and the security lights. But those are the things that do have impact on our health. We need to rest, get adequate minimum amount of sleep for an adult is 9 hours. And I'm repeating that again, 7 to 9 hours.
7 to 9 hours.
Yes, 7 to 9 hours. An adult needs to recharge. Not to talk about if you're ill or you've had some other, you might even need greater amounts of sleep. But how many people are meeting that threshold for sleep and rest?
Quite a number of people, like you have said, sleeping for too long means they are wasting away their lives, and they just want to be out there. Being out there to them is to them, it means hard work. It means you're trying to show up, you're trying to live your life and everything. But at some point, your body would have to start asking questions. What are those signs that most likely the body can be giving you as you nearing your breaking point as an individual?
Okay, so that's a very good one. Now, the human mind and body are intricately connected. There's no barrier between the brain and the body. So if your brain is not settled, your body is not going to be settled. Your body is going to be giving you signs, apart from the psychological signs. So a lot of, as I said, there's an epidemic of sleeplessness. People are, they've made up, I haven't slept well Monday to Friday, and they can't sleep. They're having insomnia, they're sleeping, they're waking up. Very common presentation of signs of stress. Then they're also having anxiety symptoms. They're anxious, they are worried, they are having palpitations. There's this sense that something is going to go wrong and they don't know what. And they are always on edge, always. And then because of that, a lot of people tend to self-medicate using alcohol. Very, very common form of self-medication. They believe, I can't sleep. Maybe if I take a drink, that will help. And then it's a vicious cycle. The alcohol doesn't help, the anxiety. So those are some of the symptoms: headaches, generalized body pains, and then you go to the hospital and then they run every conceivable test. I've had people have even MRIs and they can't find what's wrong with them, but they're having this.
Even MRI, oh my God.
Yes, and because the problems are from the brain, and if the brain is not settled, the body will not be settled. So those are some of the signs. They are snapping at people. People are saying you're having personality change. You yourself, you're an easygoing person, and then all of a sudden you're hot-tempered, or you're withdrawing away from friends and family. Those are early signs.